You're watching Local 5 News.
Well, right now, as we come on the air assessing the storm damage, this is a look at the roof of the Johnston High School outdoor learning environment blown away into the wind.
On social media, of course, a lot of videos and photos of the storms that rolled through parts of Iowa earlier this evening.
And developing tonight, the Floyd County Sheriff's Office reporting people avoid going into the town of Rudd because of widespread damage there. About 2 hours north of Des Moines, we have heard reports of damage to the library, to the water tower, City Hall, and possibly a church being leveled. Lots of homes damaged as well. Power lines are down right now, and there's a lot of debris in the streets. No injuries are reported, and again, the sheriff is saying the town is closed to people who do not live in Rudd.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Damage reported across parts of Iowa.
Of course, Local 5 is on your side. Our crews are in some of those areas where damage has been reported this evening. A Local 5 Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards is standing by tonight. Local 5's Mary Sugden has been in Johnston, where the roof of the outdoor living environment high school students there blew off. But first, we want to go to Local 5's Larissa Leone. Live in Jefferson, you can hear the wind blowing there, and there was a lot of damage.
Yeah, you guys, to say that this wind is just a little bit, it's an understatement. It is extremely windy out here. And as you can take a look behind me, this used to be a garage. Now, the storms, the wind has definitely ruined this garage completely. You can see the trees over there and the down power lines, and you want to be very mindful about those down power lines when you see that. Now, let's take a look over here to the other side where you can see the house that has had full trees dropped on it and on the deck area and completely ruined it. And you know, so we're just making sure that you guys are being very mindful and being very safe. When we were driving up here, there was a lot of debris in the road and a lot of wind picking up branches that just flew past us. So you really want to be careful in this situation and really be mindful of those down power lines. Again, like I stated earlier, live in Jefferson, Larissa Leone, Local 5 News, we are Iowa.
Larissa, thank you. Our team coverage continues tonight. Our Mary Sugden was in Johnston, where the roof of the outdoor living environment high school students there built just simply blew off. She has more for us from near Northwest 106th and Catalina.
Good evening. We want to show you some of the destruction that these winds caused tonight. Now, we're just outside of Johnston High School, and behind me here, just across the road, that's a classroom shelter that students here designed and built. They actually just held the ribbon cutting for it just this October. Just a few months later, you can see that the roof and some of the pieces of that shelter were ripped off. They came here across the road, and we'll actually show you the force that they had coming across. If you take a look at this light pole, it is bent right now, and you can see that by looking here at the ground. There's about a 3-foot hole there, and it really just shows the force that all of those pieces of the roof really came across this. Now, we know that it was blocking traffic here. This is at Northwest 106th Street and Catalina, blocking traffic for some time, but crews were able to move it safely off here, just off to the side of the high school. But again, this was all part of a project put on together. It was an outdoor learning experience here for students at Johnston High School. We know that a few students were involved in working to design and build this structure, just opening in October. But if no injuries to report here, again, with school not being in session, them not using it at this time, no injuries, and traffic is moving out here at this point. Reporting in Johnston, Mary Sugden, Local 5 News, we are Iowa.
And joining us now on the line is Lieutenant Ryan Evans with the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant, thank you for joining us this evening. What are you seeing right now?
A lot of debris in the roadways, power lines down due to power outages. We also have traffic signals that aren't working. So it's just, it's a mess out there. What kind of damage do you want people to report? Well, obviously, if you see lines down that aren't being covered, avoid them, but let the authorities know so we can get that taken care of. And then with the smoke in the air that we're seeing it's coming in from out of state, if you see fire, then report that. But if it's just the haze and the smoke, we're very well aware of that. And most importantly, how can people help you all do your job safely right now? Luckily, it's later in the evening, but just stay out of the way. Stay home, stay safe. Let us get this stuff cleaned up and move on. Lieutenant, thank you for your time. We'll be sure to follow up as the cleanup continues through the evening. Thank you much.
And this is a look right now at some of the active weather from earlier this evening. Incredible visuals. This one's out of Atlantic, which was hit early in the line of storms.
Yeah, the high winds and potential tornadoes knocking out power for thousands of Iowans. This is a look at poweroutage.us. Now you can see there are 147,000 outages across the state.
Now, a lot of this happened after dark, so of course we don't know the full scope of the damage here. We're getting reports in throughout the night, but Brad, unprecedented weather.
It is. From the beginning of the day, when we set a record high for the day at 6 a.m., and then we set an all-time record in the afternoon of 74, and then the storms set in, and they had all that fuel to work with. It felt like a spring day. Everybody felt that humidity and that heat out there, and then the thunderstorms used it to their advantage to make for severe weather. You can see this loop going back to this afternoon. Thunderstorms coming out of Nebraska, marching through Iowa. Of course, we weren't the only ones with severe weather. They had a tornado warning just a few minutes ago in Wisconsin at this hour. Now it's all severe thunderstorm warnings. A little bit of snow in the backside, but this is more of a spring storm really than a winter storm. So we got a little bit of snow there on the northern end of the system on the very tail there on the backside. Thunderstorms moving into Davenport right now. Still packing some wind out here, but look at all of these storm reports out there. A lot of wind, and there were tornado reports here. I counted 11 and maybe 12. We'll see what it tallies, but at least 11 tornadoes reported in Iowa, more back into Nebraska. And you smelled smoke in the air earlier. It's all because of wildfires down here, and they had dust. So dust made our rain dirty, and the wildfires made our air smoky, and this is where it came from, out of the southwest wind that blew in from Kansas. We are going to continue with that wind tonight. Winds still 50, 60 miles per hour or stronger out there. We had a wind gust of 74 here in Des Moines at 8 o'clock tonight, and that was without any thunderstorms. Temperatures are getting colder. It's 51 in Des Moines, 36 in Carroll. Here comes the cold air. It will be chilly tomorrow. You can see a few clouds in the morning, maybe up north, but generally it's going to be mostly sunny here across the state tomorrow, and it's going to be normal December weather. Temperatures in the mid-40s out there. We are going to see probably a high temperature, maybe reaching 42 here in Des Moines, but temperatures are going to stay chilly for the most part, especially Saturday, a high of only 30 after a high of 74 today. I'll have more details on our stormy weather coming up.
Developing tonight, the Floyd County Sheriff's Office is reporting, or asking people rather, to avoid going into the town of Rudd because of widespread damage. It's about 2 hours north of Des Moines.
And we have just learned the school district, they're reporting they won't have classes tomorrow. Now we've heard reports of damage to the library, water tower, city hall, and possibly a church being leveled. Power lines down and a lot of debris, so no injuries are reported right now. And again, the sheriff saying the town is close to people who do not live in Rudd.
And we're not sure yet if that was a tornado that caused that damage, but it could have been. Right now, we've got these 11 reports of tornadoes in central and western Iowa, unheard of. It's never happened, at least since 1950 when we really started tracking where the tornadoes were, and probably didn't happen before that. So we had a high of 74 degrees today, which is the all-time record for Des Moines in the month of December, plus the state set a record. At least 76 was the high for the state of Iowa, and it was just crazy out there today all over. 70s all the way up to Iowa Falls. Fort Dodge got to 70. We had 74 in Ames, a record there as well. In fact, here's a list of the records, all in the low to mid 70s, all breaking their all-time records. So yeah, it's the warmest day we've ever seen here in Iowa, at least since records have been kept. Sky Tracker 5 Live showing 50 degrees. We've dropped quite a bit, and it's going to drop even more. The wind is westerly now. It's 46, but it's gusting even higher. The latest wind gust, 67 miles per hour. No storms out there. This is just your normal pressure gradient wind around that area of low pressure. So that's why we have a high wind warning. We haven't really seen winds this strong since 1970. That's when we reported a wind gust of 74. Earlier we had a wind of 74. Kind of weird, the temperature and the wind, same number, 74 today. Crazy. So those winds will be very strong through the overnight hours, and they'll start to drop off a little bit after midnight. Tomorrow's is going to be a normal breezy day with winds gusting up to 30, but nothing excessive tomorrow. Cold temperatures are already moving moving into western Iowa. So we're in the 50s now, but not for much longer. It's going to drop pretty quickly out there. By tomorrow morning, we will be close to probably 29 or 30 degrees, get up to about 40 degrees for a high tomorrow, and looking for highs again close to 40 on Friday. So a couple of chilly days on our way, but they're normal. And we've got that warm air still up in Milwaukee, 65 degrees, low pressure going through Minneapolis right now. You can see that swirl around it. And of course, we talked about the smoke coming in from Kansas. That's why we smelled that. So this area of low pressure is very wound up right now. The colder air is pushing in behind it. No snow to speak of. It was more of a spring storm. The only snow might clip northwest Iowa, but it doesn't look like that's even going to happen. So some clouds in northern Iowa tonight. Most of us will be sunny all day tomorrow. That wind, not a problem, but it will be a breezy, cool day. Temperatures mostly in the 30s the next couple of days. And a few clouds do rustle in here on the Futurecast by Friday, and it probably will cloud up in the afternoon on Friday, so it's going to make it feel even colder. Typical December weather is on the way. Wind warning continues tonight till midnight. Things will get better after midnight, but it'll still be breezy after midnight. 29 for the low. Much cooler tomorrow, a high of 42, which is technically 42 is technically still above average for this time of the year. So here's your 10-day forecast sponsored by Holt Plumbing and Heating. And by the way, a lot of people don't have heat tonight, so it's going to be a rough next 24 hours or however long it takes to get that going. Got a cold day coming Saturday. There's not much precipitation in the forecast here, though. It looks pretty quiet, which probably means we're not going to have a white Christmas. We'll see how that goes.